Sometimes we like to watch films that are going to make us think about the world and reflect upon ourselves and the people that we know. But sometimes you just want a film that's going to make you smile, that you don't have to think about and you can just sit back and enjoy. So while these 3 films that I'm going to recommend might not be the best films ever made, they require no effort. In fact, it's probably better if you don't think about some of them too hard. They definitely put a smile on my face and they lifted my spirits. That's why I really enjoyed them. The first one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows. Obviously this is a sequel to the 2014 reboot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. With this franchise you pretty much go into the film expecting to have a lot of fun because the title really just gives that away. The plot's really simple. The Turtles have to team up in order to defeat Shredder, who's made an ally in Krang. The best part about these films is always the Turtles. For some reason, if you have a group of like 4 or 5 characters and give them each a gimmicky personality trait, then I'm always on board. A common complaint of the 2014 reboot was that there wasn't that much screen time for the Turtles. It was actually more about April O'Neil and how she was trying to like get a big scoop as a journalist. But they must have listened to that complaint because this one focuses a lot more on the Turtles themselves. The action and the humour is pretty much non-stop in this one. There's hardly any room to think at all, which is probably a good thing because the science is kind of ridiculous. And I mean even more ridiculous than Ooze mutating turtles into like humanoid creatures. This film relies a lot on nostalgia, so if you're a fan of the original Ninja Turtles cartoon, then you're probably gonna really like this because it brings back some of the classic characters from that. I've already mentioned Krang, who was one of the villains. There's also Baxter Stockman, who I really enjoyed. I thought he was quite funny. There's also Bebop and Rocksteady, who have been transformed into a rhino and a warthog. They act as Shredder's henchmen for some unknown reason. He trusts them with things. Some people didn't really like them a lot in this film, but I really enjoyed them. I thought they added a lot of humour to it. I really loved their interactions, and I loved how positively they took being turned into a rhino and a warthog. Like, who else would have been happy about that? It's nice to have that kind of positivity in the world. My only complaints about this film was Casey Jones, because they basically took everything that makes him really cool as a character and got rid of it. It just didn't work for me. It wasn't as cool as like the original Casey Jones that I'm used to. One thing that I was really impressed by was the CGI. Okay, there were times where it could have been a bit better, but on the whole I thought it looked really good. The turtles looked as real as they can be. And the design of them is also really good. It just shows their different personalities and they're really well differentiated from each other. I think whoever did the character designs for this reboot is just fantastic. I also liked the designs of Bebop and Rocksteady, and Krang looked really disgusting, but it fits perfectly with this world and with these characters. The second film I'm going to recommend is The Secret Life of Pets. When the trailers came out for this, I found it so funny and I was so excited to go and see it because I just love the idea of a film about what pets get up to when their owners are out. I actually went to go and see this with my mum, which is kind of a miracle because she doesn't really watch films that often, and when she does she complains that they're too loud or that the actors aren't speaking clearly enough. So I was really happy that she came with me to see this one, and you should like it because it was adorable pets. And being animated, you know that the voices are going to be really clear. What I will say about this one is that unfortunately most of the funny moments were in the trailer, so that was a bit disappointing, but there were a few other funny moments and I just really enjoyed myself. This one almost felt like a Pixar film, but it was just lacking that like deeper meaning that Pixar films usually have, and it had more humour that you would find in something like DreamWorks. I think it reminded me so much of that because the story is a little bit like Toy Story, so you've got like characters that you're led to believe don't really have a life outside of you interacting with them. And you also have the same situation as Woody and Buzz where one day Andy brought Buzz home and it made Woody very insecure. It's the same situation. You've got this dog, its owner brings home another dog, and you get that same kind of adventure out of that. I definitely recommend, if you have kids or a younger brother or sister or cousin, go and take them to see this film because I think they'll really enjoy it. The most memorable character is probably the white bunny. Looks adorable but is completely evil. And the final film that I'm going to recommend is Independence Day 2 Resurgence. Now, I've heard a lot of fans of the first film that really didn't enjoy this one, but I didn't see the first one. At least I think I didn't see the first one. As I was watching, I actually recognised some of the characters that were in it in the first film. Knowing me as a kid, I probably watched it up until the point that the aliens were introduced because I couldn't handle anything like that. Anyway, I personally really enjoyed myself. The plot is that 20 years after the first alien invasion, they come back again for revenge. But this time we've had 20 years to develop our own technology with their technology. So we've had like a boost in our defense system. And all of the orphans whose parents were killed in the first alien invasion, they've been training in the army. So we have a little bit of a head start in this one compared to the last one. My favourite part about this film is the technology that we have and the world building that the first film was created. It's really cool to see how an alien invasion like that has changed the Earth. It almost created like a Star Trek-y kind of feel because all of the countries of the world have joined together and people are living in a technologically advanced place where there doesn't seem to be much war anymore. It's really cool to see a future where everyone is banded together basically and put all of the differences aside. I think that's a really nice message to have in a film. The weakest part about this film is definitely the dialogue. Sometimes it is just hit you over the head, obvious. The very last line is the best example of that because it might as well have just said, direct to camera, we're probably going to do a sequel to this. Something else that I liked about this one is that it was quite short. I've actually seen people say that that's one of the reasons why they didn't like it. They felt that a lot was packed into less time, but we have a lot of films these days that are like 3 hours long, and sometimes you just don't want that because sometimes it feels a little bit dragged out and you just want to go home. Whereas with this one, it was like bam, 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 plot done, happy days, enjoy, go home. I also applaud this film for being very diverse. You've got people of different races, you've got a woman as president of the USA, and you've also got gay characters as well, which I really wasn't expecting. I actually went to see this with my friend who was a massive fan of the first one, and we really enjoyed it. We were giggling all the way through to each other. If you do really love the first film but you've been put off by other reviews, then give it a chance anyway if you want to see it. Like I said, my friend is a massive fan of the first one and really enjoyed this one. I think if you just go in expecting a typical action film and don't expect it to be better than the first one, you'll probably have a good time. I rated all of these films a good solid 3 stars out of 5. Alright, so let me know if you've seen any of these films and whether you agree or disagree with me. They made me really happy, but they might not have had the same effect on you. And of course leave me recommendations to films that have lifted your spirits recently. Thanks so much for watching, like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye! The video's still going, isn't it? I was trying to take a picture.